Man has always been curious about unknown places and he has always been eager to expand the horizons of his knowledge by exploring the unknown world. He must have had a deep curiosity about the space and many twinkling stars in the dark sky. He must have had dreams to fly to space and must have been working for that. Hello Brainies, how are you and welcome to Brain Explorer. Today we are going to explore some basic stuff about space missions. The world has become a global village due to the space missions. Today we can contact a person in any part of the world within a second. We can gather information about worldwide events sitting at home. You all know the importance of internet. Due to internet, every information is available at our fingertips. It has become possible to get advance alert about natural climates and take proper precautions. During war, it is possible to get information about the actions of enemies through aerial surveillance using satellites. It is also possible to expand the fossil reserves and minerals in the earth. Thus, there are unlimited applications of space missions. Today, space technology is an inevitable part of the development of a world. First of all, we all know that the space mission is nothing but the putting some useful stuff into the space with the help of rockets. Generally, space missions classified into two types. First is manned space mission and another one is unmanned space mission. Yep, in manned space mission, rocket carries astronauts and some other usable stuff like telescope. And in unmanned space missions, rocket carries satellites, spacecrafts and robot instead of an astronauts, which is kind of safe. Again, we can classify unmanned space mission into two categories. In one type of objective is to put artificial satellites in orbits around Earth for research and various other useful applications. The objective of the second type of the mission is to send the spacecraft to outer space for close observations and understanding of the objects in the solar system or even outside of the solar system. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the rocket or the launch vehicle. Rocket is the one who carries the stuff into space. So it is made up of a light but very strong materials like aluminium. And also rocket have a thermal protection system which protects the rocket from heat caused by air friction. Rocket is divided into several parts. Each part has its work. The first component is payload system. Payload system of the rocket is the part which carries the stuff like satellite and the robots into the space. Payload system of a rocket depends on the rocket's mission. To minimize the friction, payloads should have rounded and bullet shape. This gives the rocket small area, like an example of a nail going into a wall. Now below the payload system, rocket may also contain the guidance system. The guidance system of a rocket includes the digital stuff like sophisticated sensors, onboard computers, radars and communication equipments to control the rocket in flight. Also guidance system controls the stability and direction of the satellite. Now next and last part is the proportional system of the rockets. Majority of the entire length of a rocket is consumed by this part. As by the name, propulsion system consists of components like fuels, oxidizers, pump and nozzle that help launch the rocket off ground. Also it helps to change the direction. The structure of a rocket is decided by the stuff that we are going to send into the space. The fuel of the vehicle also depend on these factors. So that was about the structure of the rocket. Now let's talk about the physics that we are applying. At the first instant, we use the Newton's third law of motion, which says that every action has equal and opposite reaction. And based on that law, rocket pushes the ground with tremendous amount of a force with the help of fuel, which is called as thrust. As a rocket pushes ground downward, hence the ground pushes rocket upward. And as a result, our rocket goes up into the space. But wait, there is also a problem in this process which we called as gravity. Because if rocket continued going up without tilting at all, it would reach at a point where it would run out of fuel. And at that point, due to influence of gravity, it will fall back onto the earth. But we also have the solution for that problem. We use the term called gravity turn. At one point after crossing a launch tower, nozzle slightly rotates which leads to change in the direction of rocket. And that gravity turn helps the rocket to save some fuel, and also it helps the rocket to escape from Earth's gravitational influence. And the escape velocity is also the important for the rocket to escape from Earth's gravitational influence. Once a rocket lifts off, parts of it subsequently separated. For example, if spacecraft is being launched with the rocket, then its rocket booster separated first, and then external tank. These separated parts either fall into sea back onto the Earth, or it get converted into the space trash. Then spacecraft goes on to its own using its own energies, like solar energy. Similar things happens with the rocket containing satellites. In a nutshell, rockets are used only to get stuff into the space. Once a rocket's done their job, it gets separated, and then spacecrafts, astronauts and satellites starts to do their job. And this whole process or mission known as the space mission. Space agencies all over the world like ISRO, NASA, JAXA, Roscosmos contributes the money and all of their knowledge to sending the man and stuff like satellite into the space. And aim of all those missions is only and only one: to explore the universe beyond this planet.